Hello my friends, and welcome back to another return to ultra video as part of my series of me returning to the ultra marathon. So we are in week 5, so if you've watched this already, you've seen week 1. If not, go ahead and go back and watch that first week 1 video just to kind of get an update of where I'm at and what I'm doing. But I'm going to take you through a week of training. I know you guys really love this, and I don't know what kind of adventures we're going to get on this week because I feel like I hit a low in my training last week. I didn't document any of that, but just the winter in Colorado has been really getting to me. Snow running is really hard. My Achilles and calf were just angry from something that I have no idea why. I didn't even have to do with running, and I was just really getting in my head, right? And I think a lot of us relate to that and just feeling, unmotivated or beating ourselves up or getting frustrated with ourselves. But last week was a deload week, so I trained those first 3 weeks pretty hard. Coming off December, I deloaded last week, and I think that maybe it was just that my body was tired and it needed to recover. So I did about 3 consistent weeks of about 22 miles, and I say that in quotes because it was still about 5 hours of cardio a week. Again, snow running is slower. That includes the roads and especially the trails, and I'm still, navigating the intensity of which I can run on my calf as I kind of build back up its tolerance. And so I got frustrated all around, but I am getting a ton of time on my feet, which is important and will be really great come spring and summer when I'm hoping to look to racing again. So I'm gonna take you through a week of training today. So this is day 1 of the week. I took a rest day yesterday and skipped my workout so that I could reset my workouts. They kept getting shifted back in the week, and I was taking rest days on Monday, but that meant I was doing a ton of volume later in the week. And I think maybe some of the irritation that I was having with my injury is just doing all my lifting and running on top of each other. And so I think I want to try to spread that out a little bit more and move my midweek rest day more midweek rather than on Monday. So first off, I'm getting ready for my first lift of the week. It is my clean and deadlift day. Those are the 2 lifts that I'm pushing the most during this ultra training cycle. We're taking a break on squats because that seems to irritate some of my lingering injury issues, but I'm a deadlift queen, so I'm happy, and I love power cleans too. So we are getting ready for the gym. I just whipped up a protein shake, Legion Plant Cinnamon Cereal. I don't know if I've talked about this yet on here, but this is the best. You need this in your life. So I'm drinking a little bit of a protein shake before I get dressed and ready, and I'm gonna head to the gym for my lift here today. So let's do it. So first I need to get dressed. It is so frigid here in Colorado. It was -16 with wind chill this morning when I went into work. So I'm gonna wear my Paragon, more high performance clothes, but I need socks. I need a long sleeve. I need a hoodie. I mean, my new gym is heated, which is very nice, but just like the transition of even getting to the gym, it's gonna take me forever to warm up. So I wanna make sure I'm getting in and getting warm when I get there. So we're gonna get ready. All right, I am in the gym and I'm getting ready to warm up. My goal today is to get through my workout pretty quick, so we might not talk over things a ton, but I want to show you what I'm doing here in this week of training, in my lifting and cycling and running and all of the things, especially training through a winter ultra, but also integrating a hybrid training approach to my ultra training because I am still lifting and pushing weights and pushing the load. So let's get started and let's get it going. I'm gonna warm up first. I'm going to do some cardio, my dynamic warm up, as the kids like to call it on the streets. I have power cleans, deadlifts, and then lots of fun accessory work here today. So let's jump in. right, so I am going to do 2x4 muscle cleans before I go into 5x1 power cleans, and then move into deadlifts. So I've been loving the power cleans recently. The weight's a little bit down this week. Noah is programming me, but the reps are up, so we'd love to see it. Myself on track. I set up my smart WOD, the app timer, for 5 rounds at 5 singles, and I'm gonna do 5 seconds of work. It's a single, and then 90 seconds of rest is what Noah has for me. So a minute and a half of rest, and it will beep, and I'll go at the top of each timer. So let's do it. Working up to 3 sets of 5 at about an RPE of 8. I hit a top set last week of 265. If my post-op has ruined anything, it's been my deadlift progress. So we are trying to get revenge here in this block. So if I'm feeling good, we'll push today. If not, we'll just meet my body where it's at, because we have a million more days ahead of us. So let's do it. So I hate deadlift day because it just everything takes longer. I also Olympic lift only 1 day a week right now. But I'm gonna go into share some of my accessories, not all. But one of my very favorite things that I'm doing this block are these high box step ups. I'm doing iso hold split squats before doing them. That's part of like a PT rehab recommendation for me, for managing some of the issues that I was having with my left side. So keep in mind, you're gonna see me doing that, but that is why I'm doing it. But these high box step ups I love step ups, and they're one of the movements that I'm trying to push right now for literally no other reason than it seems fun to me. To challenge myself, try to progress this way. This in my lunges, since I'm doing box squats and not squatting full range of motion, I'm trying to push like those alternative single leg squatting type patterns, the quad dominant type movements during this training cycle. One, because they both transfer into my ultra running mountain type goals that I have for later this year, but also because it gives me a way to progress something that's quad and or squat dominant type mimicking patterns while I'm having to back off that just because of the irritation it gives me on my left hip. So anyway, let's get to stepping. So something really important to pay attention to here is that I'm not like stepping up with my back leg. Like I'm driving entirely with the leg that is doing the movement, the top leg. I'm not pushing off. So making sure I'm doing high box. So it is a high hard range of motion. And so I do have to kind of control to make sure that I'm not gonna like fall over when I'm like catching myself. But when I'm stepping up, you're trying to drive entirely with that hip, glute, quad on the ascension. You're not kicking up where half of the movement is being done by your back leg, and then you're continuing with the rest. If you really want that leg that's working to be doing all of the work in the step-ups. Okay, I have some hamstring. I'm like so going to my step-ups. I have some hamstring stuff, some farmer's carries. I'm gonna superset it because I need to get out of here. I have this set up right now for Nordic hamstring curls. If you don't have pretty much anything that you can hook your knees under in your gym, some people do it on like a seated row machine, cable row in their gym. Some gyms have like pads you can hook up for this. You can do them on a GHD. I guess I could do them on a GHD. I don't know why I'm not thinking of that after all this time. Okay, next week I'm gonna do them on the GHD so I don't have to set this up. But anyway, this is a barbell setup that I have here that you can do to do these in your gym. And so this is a way of working on eccentric hamstring lowering. And it's a great hamstring strengthening exercise. I think a lot of people tend to think that hamstrings only are like the hinging movements or the extending at your hip, but your hip both like bends at the waist, like, or how should I say, your knee can both move towards you, or you can move your hamstrings by hinging things away from you. I'm brain dead, that doesn't make any sense. What I'm trying to say is that your hamstrings can curl, but also flex. So you can train both things, both components in your training. Good morning, my friends. I am about to head out to the gym. I'm going to do my upper body cardio or upper body lift and then my HIIT interval bike cardio day. So something that's important to keep in mind when I share weeks of training is that because my work schedule changes so often, every single week looks different. So even though this week I'm doing my HIIT intervals with my upper body day, last few weeks I've been more ideally doing them with my lower body squat day, but that's been getting shoved again in the week. And then my legs are pretty fatigued for my long runs, which isn't necessarily a bad thing considering what I'm trying to train for and where I'm at in my training. But it works best with my schedule and honestly the weather this week for me to do my bike workout indoor today while it's -6 degrees outside, and then shift maybe to getting some runs on the road later this week. But I have pretty much a free day of no testing, no meetings. So I'm gonna try to get, my workout in this morning, get it done, get it, check off the box, and not worry about things being perfect in my hybrid training, because at the end of the day, getting it in matters more than the perfect split. And while there are more ideal ways to do it, and ideally I sometimes try to put that harder intensity on my leg days, the things that are gonna matter most are the fact that I crushed like 8.5 hours of sleep last night, I eat enough today, especially protein, carbohydrates I can recover, and I'm coming off a deload week, so my legs are pretty fresh, and I already got one of my hardest, heavier leg days for the week done yesterday, and that will be spaced out from my runs midweek. So anyway, I'm about to head to the gym, and let's do that thing. right, my friends, we are here in the gym today. This is my upper body day. I'm doing seated Z press, which is basically a seated shoulder press today. ISO dumbbell row holds, chin ups, and single arm shoulder presses, just sprinkling in a little bit more upper body into my week. I do a little bit of upper body on my squat day as well, so I'm hitting that twice a week, but this is like my upper body only day. It does have some core at the end, but I'm going to do my lift, then my cardio, and then I might not do my core because I've been cutting it and moving it to like the end of my midweek run stair step cardio day, just to kind of make my workout schedule easier. But I'm getting a sprinkle of a treat from Coach Noah today, who's a one-on-one coach in the LIST method with us, and my personal coach. He also programs the program Build. If you're interested in training with us, Noah's brilliant, but he gave me a treat today. Instead of just bike intervals, he gave me kind of a little Metcon-y type thing where it's 8 rounds of 1 minute hard effort bike with 4 dumbbell snatches, and then rest the remaining of that second minute, and 8 rounds of that. So it's 16 minutes total, so it's not 8 minutes. I had that in my head, so that's a bummer. So we're gonna lift, we're gonna do cardio, and we're gonna get it going. All right, we finished up our lift and we are getting ready to hit our little conditioning piece. I'm excited to do some dumbbell snatches because I haven't done those in a while. They are honestly one of my favorite movements. And since I'm not barbell snatching right now, it's nice to do something a little snatch-esque just to give me a little taste to keep me appeased during this downtime. So let's do it.
everything's gonna be alright.
It's Wednesday of my week of training. It is 42 degrees and I've been planning this run all week long. The cold is really getting to me. We have a few days of 40s and it feels like a freaking heat wave, that Colorado sun. I have a meeting at 3:30, so I'm basically gonna run an out and back for time for about an hour, 30 out, 30 back for my run today so I can get to that on time. But I had to sneak in this peak heat running day today. Probably honestly about 6 miles is what I'll end up getting today for my run. Easy in talking though, so it kind of feels hard to hold my phone and talk at the same time, but we are stoked to get out here. Post deload week training run number 1. Did our bike hit yesterday. We're 2 cardio runs and 2 lifts in for the week, midweek, and I feel like I'm in a really good place, so let's hit it. I know that tricks a lot of people up. 1, watch my zones video. 2 is when you're running, 1, you should be able to carry a normal conversation, but 2, you kind of want to think of like not only your RPE and your exertion being like a 4 or 5, but like what color and sensation do you feel around you, right? How is your ventilation? If you're breathing like this and you said, oh, well, my zone 2 heart rate, it's wrong, but you're breathing that heavy, then you're not. Your ventilation tells you a lot, but your perceived aura can also kind of give you a hint of how you feel. So right now I feel very blue, green, light, effortless, which is a good sign that I am in my zone 2, my true zone 2. And my heart rate, I can't read it right now, is like 142, which is about my zone 2 for me, so it's pretty spot on. But you can train that over time, and that's my zone 2 tip for you all. So we just did another easy 3 today. It's beautiful out again. I wanted to run a little bit further, but my left leg is kind of been acting up again. I did talk to my friend who's a PT, and I think we might have kind of figured out where some of this lingering stuff and why it flared up. I think a little bit had to do with the snow running volume. So luckily there's lots of dry pavement this week. I may run on road this weekend just to give my little leg a break. But otherwise it just felt really great. That felt easy. Ironically, my pace was faster at a lower heart rate for most of today than yesterday, which just means I'm having an easier day. I'm gonna walk a little bit because it's still beautiful out, and yeah, another one bites the dust. Day 4, done and dusted. All right, my friends, we are back on lift number 3 for this week in the gym. This is my squat kind of dominant day here in the gym. It's kind of a mix of full body. I've really wanted to try to move this up earlier in the week, but I don't want to put it back to back with my deadlift lower body day. And just with the way my schedule worked out, I ended up running the last 2 days, so I'm going to hit the lift today. I've honestly been hitting this lift on Fridays for the past couple weeks anyway. So it looks like this is my Friday lift, but we're gonna get started. I am going to try to just cruise this workout pretty quick. So we're just gonna take some clips and share them with you along the way. The goals today, I'm box squatting. Ever since I got injured almost a year ago, full range motion squats just seem to be one thing that irritates me. So we've officially just cut it to box squats here for training with my running volume right now. We got heavy lunges, some RDLs, and then some upper body accessory work too. So it's kind of a full body day. And so we're gonna get warmed up and we're gonna get ready. And so we're gonna crush it and hopefully abide to our rest times so that we can get out and get the cardio and get in and out in a normal amount of time. I can finish up my work day. So let's hit it. All right, it is Saturday. I am headed out for a questionable distance of a run. So I am one happy camper today right now. I just got done running and I ran 8.33 miles. If we're being specific, I just wanted to walk a little bit back just to kind of walk. Really no reason other than that. But I'm feeling really happy because I really didn't think I was going to run today at all. I was worried I was going to go out and run like 2 or 3 miles and be in pain and turn around. But honestly, I had a little bit of my discomfort I get in my foot that I've had my whole life for the first like 30 minutes or so, and then it totally went away and nothing else really hurt. I felt really great the entire time. So I kept going. I kind of wanted to push it to 10, but I was like, no, let's keep it at 8. That will put me at 17 miles for the week right now, plus my interval workout, and then I still have tomorrow. It's a pretty good place for me to be, all things considered. I might bike a little bit later tonight. I do have to run some errands, and so just depending on how long that takes me, but otherwise, I feel actually really good and a little bit less of a negative Nancy. I ended up having to stop to get some candy, which is currently stuffed in my bra because I don't have any pockets or belts, but I feel really good right now, and I'm really happy about that, so we prevail. All right, my friends, we are on our last day of this week of training. I am just doing a little bit of rolling and moving again today, truly just because it feels good. I don't want you all to think that like by me doing these things, that there's any magical hack to this other than managing load and volume. But as I do this, I figured we'd chat about this week of training, and I'm headed out for my last run of the week. I did transparently work out 6 days in a row this week, but that's because I did not run and lift together on the same day last week, since I had some of that ankle flare up and I decided to separate it out, and then I had something changed in my schedule. So a big thing that comes up with hybrid training, and a lot of people that they talk about it, is what's the perfect split? And I can give you tons of splits, right? My ebook hybrid gives you, I think, 80 in that book based off of, your fitness level and your lifting experience and how much you're running, the frequency, and a lot of it comes down to time. But, even when we think about the things that make hybrid splits more ideal and how we lay out our lifting versus our running, is that it doesn't really matter unless you get it in, right? And with me being in my postdoc and life being just crazy, every single week my schedule changes, and it's really hard, but I really care about training and I prioritize it, and that's something that's important to me, and you have to recognize that that's important to you. And every week I have to look at my week and I'm like, okay, well, when am I gonna get these things in? How am I gonna get these things in? Where do I have to modify or adjust? And so, some weeks my training split is perfect and ideal, and I get lots of recovery, or I'm not doubling up, running on an arm day, so I get an extra day of lower body recovery, or I can get in, one of my midweek runs on the same day as my lower body, so that I'm kind of doing hard on my hard days, and separating it out by 6 hours or more, so I'm managing that CNS fatigue, and all of that stuff is fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, most of us are regular people, we're just trying to get it in, and I'm not even an elite athlete, right? Like, I'm coming back from an injury, and I work a full-time job. I also run my business, make all this content while I train, and it isn't gonna be perfect, and you cannot let that inability of your training to be perfect to stop you from getting out there and doing it. And you can even see this week, like, I've had a roller coaster of a week where I had like an amazing lifting session earlier this week. My first 2 workouts were great and I was ahead of the curve for the week, and then my ankle and foot were kind of freaking out, and I was worried that I had a major setback and I wasn't gonna be able to run, and I was, I really am trying to be cautious right now with my comeback, because I really don't want to relapse to the point that I'm back to where I was, right? Not running for months at a time. So we're really trying to work on with my body, like same team mindset. You and your body are on the same team. What can you do to work with each other? But then also, like, you saw the roller coaster of this week of like the great workouts followed by like the, oh my gosh, freak out, not so great, being worried, to like yesterday my run was incredible. And so I'm gonna head back out today. It's 50 degrees again. I'm rocking the shouts. I got the big leg, that big thigh time. Out in the sun, sun's out, thighs out, or whatever we want to call it. That's what we used to say when I was in lacrosse. We wore shorts when it was warm in the spring in Pennsylvania. But you know, I'm gonna head back out, and again, I could get really eager about what today's gonna bring, but I'm gonna listen to my body. I would really like to match yesterday's distance and duration. Since yesterday I was being a little bit more cautious just to see how, like, not only I felt during the run, but then also recover, like if I had any pain come up today. You know, if that happened, I would have just biked today, pulled it back, but I feel good, I feel fine. And so we're gonna head back out. I'm gonna try to match that. But if not, I'm okay with coming in early, you know, whatever that is. But my mindset there is that I didn't extend my long run distance this week. So last week was a deload. So this week was supposed to be like, hey, let's increase our running mileage and volume. But if I can match with 8 again today, I'll be at 23 miles for the week, and I was clocking about 20 to 22 for the entire month of January. Now, a lot of that volume was on snow and snowy trails, so that's obviously going to be slower, less mileage than maybe the stress and stimulus that I was putting. The duration I was running was like 2.5 hours during those runs, so these are, by time-wise, significantly less. But it's nice because it's on road, so I can almost get the mileage in that I need without as much stress and impact, and maybe that's what I need right now to adjust, to let my body kind of come back from this. I would love to get on trail more often. I think that would help with some of that exposure to that, but my schedule's crazy, so we're gonna hit road twice. And so that's my plan for today. But again, like, if my body tells me otherwise, then we'll pull it in, we'll come in, we'll bike, we'll do what we need to do. But that would make me really happy, because then I'd be able to almost match or even progress this week, even though I thought I was going to have a massive setback. And I think that's, you know, this is a great week of training just for, like, you seeing that mind shift in how I face things. And it's not ideal and sexy. Like, right now I feel like a fraud when I share my injury comeback and my hybrid training, because I'm having to modify so much, and I can't really run fast speeds or paces yet, because it just, I can't, my left Achilles and calf and foot can't handle the intensity. So I'm running like very slow, and I know that seems almost like I'm a fraud because I'm not a better runner. And you know, this is reality, and this is being a human, right, at the end of the day. And so I'm glad I got to take you all along with me this week for a week of training, hybrid training, returning to ultra. I'm gonna end up doing like 4.5 to 5 hours of cardio this week on top of 3 lifts, and that's pretty great, right? Pretty awesome. And so working with my body, it's been about a year since I originally had my injury, almost shy of a year. And so it's, you know, been a mind mess ever since then. But you know, if I have to extend my timeline and whatever that looks like, I will return to a race this year. I don't care if it takes me till December 31st, unless something major happens. But it's same body, same team, working with my body, giving it grace, and you know, still showing up and doing what you can despite your schedule, injuries, setback, or life. That is like the mindset of success, especially when we are just regular people doing the best thing. So thank you all for tuning in for this week of training. I'm gonna go hit the road, and I'm so excited. It's beautiful out. If you enjoy this video, please hit subscribe. Do it. I know you want to do it. Subscribe, like, comment if you learned something, or you felt like you could relate to, you know, the roller coaster of this week, or you just whatever you gain from watching me train this week. And if you want a training program that does this for you, you would really, really love my current program, Perform, which is very similar to how my training style is right now, concurrently with my run training. It's 3 days a week. It is a full upper/plyometric split the first 3 months, and then it will kind of adjust based off the goals throughout the program and time. But it would be very similar, give or take the small adjustments that I make with, I do Olympic weightlifting still a little bit in my training program. But if you really loved this week of training, I would love to have you in the list method, where you can, you know, use a running plan alongside Perform, or one of our other lifting plans. If you want to do Metcon or build while you're doing running training, we can help you kind of figure out the split and the fit for you. So go ahead and head to doclessfitness.com, check out the list method, send us an email and inquiry if you don't know the best fit for you. We'd love to help you out, and we'd love to have you in there so you can kind of train the way that I train too, right? So again, thank you for tuning in for this full week of training. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and we'll catch you on the next one.